What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is good to be back, but unfortunately, I'll be going again tomorrow because I have to go watch the Astros beat up on the Phillies. Booze is probably going to kick me out of the program. It doesn't matter. It's okay. But we're here. We're back finding winners. We're going to talk about the college football weekend, talk about this interesting game that is Thursday night football. We finally get a primetime game that is maybe worthy of a primetime spot. No hate to Mr. Mile High working out in the sky, but yeah. So I'm excited about today. How are we feeling, guys? Before y'all answer, make sure everyone is liking and subscribing to the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube page so that you can catch these Money Shots episodes all throughout the week. Because obviously, if we're talking about college football on Thursday, you need this advice on Saturday. So make sure you go back and rewatch the show. Kelly, you look like you're about to go to a football game. How you going? How you doing?
I am going to a football game. I've got my creamsicle on and my red. I don't understand the creamsicle thing, but whatever. I have Tampa in a teaser tonight. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Jack is not here today. Jake is, and we do not have a tweet. That's what I was looking for, was to retweet the show. So who knows?
I think it was.
No worries. Let's ask how Bosco's doing while we get the tweet. How we doing, Bosco?
The tweet's live on Barstool Sportsbook. I just retweeted it.
You're the best. Thanks, Rico.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing way better now that since I realized you guys know what tonight starts.
No, what does tonight
The
start?
sports equinox or whatever people keep talking about?
Equinox has been going.
I don't know.
That's for nonners at the water cooler. 27 straight days of football.
There you go.
There we go. 27 straight. I knew there was something I was missing. That's not me. It's not my phone.
18-9. That's what I want to do. I want to go 18-9 in a best bet.
Why? Why do you want to bet that many games? Like what in the world provokes you in your brain to play 27 games?
Because
I don't know if you heard, Kelly, I don't know if you heard. I got to hit the keyboard a little bit more. So 27 games, 27 blogs helps you pal out. Okay, maybe you could see them, for the championship games in January instead of just sending them a postcard to the old Ubber.
You're ridiculous.
He is ridiculous.
You're gonna pull off some good wins here, Rico. You're gonna let's say you'll go 20.
I love the one tonight. Take a guess what tonight's best bet would be.
We can get into that now if we want to hop down to Thursday night. I mean, because both of you guys seem like y'all are ready to talk about Thursday night football already. Should we go ahead and just jump to Thursday night football, then go back?
I don't want to talk about Thursday night football. I'm just going to the game to hang out with Che and just act like a word I'm not allowed to use on this show. Like I just enjoy doing stuff like that. But I had to get a Bucks hat. I already own the creamsicle swimsuit that Rico thinks I'm wearing. It's not a swimsuit, everyone. That being said, I'm just going for moral support, if you will. So yeah, I don't really care about this game. I hope both teams have fun and nobody wins by more than a touchdown.
I'm with that because I have the Ravens in a teaser. I have the Ravens plus the 8.5 or 7.5, excuse me. Rams plus the 8 to close that teaser up there. But I'm not gonna lie, this game is interesting and it's worrisome because obviously the Ravens were favored by 2 with the opening line, and then it's completely flipped essentially. And now you got the Bucks minus the 1.5. You have Tom Brady, who has lost 5 straight games, not covers, just 5 straight games, and against inferior opponents. I mean, just awful fucking teams. So if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think I can, and this maybe I'll also die on this hill. I don't think I can back Tom Brady right now. I don't think I can back the Bucks right now. I understand that this could be a buy low spot for Tom Brady. I understand that, this could be a game where he just absolutely comes out and just, I mean, he didn't have a bad game last game. It just no one else could pick it up either. But I like the Ravens plus the 8.5, even though the Ravens 7.5, Jesus Christ, even though the Ravens have just absolutely blown it in the fourth quarter, they have kept it close. So I'm expecting maybe a 3-point game here either way. And I like the Ravens in a tease, which is the spot where you can get them at now. Kelly, you said that you have the Bucks in a tease. So what are you doing there?
So on Monday, I teased the Bucks when they were a dog up over the touchdown. I thought, okay, it's prime time. I love betting against prime time, Tom. We all know that. But here's a Ravens team that, what do they do in the second half? They just lay down. They don't play defense, and that keeps them from winning football games. So I thought, okay, I'll take the Bucks in a teaser. And then yesterday, magically, I'm doing another show. I look at the odds screen. I'm going, who just hit the Bucks? They just took the Bucks plus 1.5. Next thing you know, it was pick 'em. And then all of a sudden today, it's Bucks minus 1.5. I said, fine, I'll tease the Ravens. So now I just need the game to fall within a touchdown, and I could care less about the rest of it. Going with a good friend of mine that does a bunch of props. I may ask her what she likes as far as those go to give us a little bit more action. But I'm just going for the party, Megan. This is not a game
For the party.
that I really think that the Bucks. Yes, this is a very buy low spot on Tampa Bay. God, they're a frustrating team. I sent you another article today about Giselle being a witch.
I'm telling you, I gotta write the blog, okay?
Yeah, you do have to write the blog at this point.
I haven't gotten to the keyboards in a minute, but that blog, it's been churning in this brain of mine here.
Don't tell Rico that. He has to write like 3 blogs a day, and there you are saying you haven't written a blog. At least I write 1 blog a week, Megan. At least 1.
First off, I've had some pretty great blogs. Second off, you can't. I've also been extremely busy, so I mean, they've been sending me to Colorado or wherever else. So we're just pumping.
I'm excited to see you versus all the Philly fans for the live stream. I think that's going to be incredible content.
Also, I got a big birthday coming up on Monday, so let's not rag on me, okay?
Big time birthday.
Let's just big time birthday. So let's not rag on me, okay? All right, let's talk to Rico. Rico, what you got for Thursday Night Football? What's the blog gonna say?
Yeah, listen, the line flip, obviously I don't like, but I am sick of this Bucks team. That's why I placed the Falcons at 4 to. I'm sorry. I set it at 4-1. I drove through Jersey that day and it hit 350. So I own the Falcons to win that division at 350. I want to watch the Bucks demise. Like I know, and everybody's saying like when you think Tom Brady's wrong, he can, he shoves it to you. I don't know. I just think it's a different kind of team. Like they're not bad. They're really bad. Like they're different. They're really bad. He's lost 4 straight. Oh, I'm sorry, Megan. He's lost 4 out of 5 straight. They won the Falcons game, which they should have. Right. Which they should have They should have lost, given that horrible penalty, which was bullshit. So the Falcons have showed me they can compete with them. The Falcons are a pesky team. I just kind of want to see the Bucks unravel. If they can unravel.
I mean, do you really think Tom Brady came out of retirement not to make the playoffs, Rico?
Without a doubt. I totally get it. But the flip, I don't see an in between. I see them going, I don't know. I see them really bombing out, or I see them getting to the Super Bowl, and I'll take my chances bombing out. I'm not in that middle thing where I ride them this week, I fade, I go with them this, I'm back.
See, but that is exactly where I'm at. I think that there are some excellent buy and sell spots on each NFL team, and while I've been wrong, last week I was 0-2. It was not a great spot. You got to kind of understand that you're not necessarily betting teams and you're betting numbers at certain points in time. And again, the last primetime game I went to with the Bucks, took Graham out of the Saints game. Did I think the Saints were going to win that one outright? I didn't. But Tom Brady, literally after 8:30, now he's got the divorce. Now he's got all of these other things. I'm with you. I think that the demise is far more achievable than a Super Bowl run at this point.
Yeah. That's why I went with it. As far as tonight, it's 4 out of its last 5 on Thursday night. In the last 5 weeks, it's 11-4. In primetime games, they're still offering over 3.5 field goals at
I knew it was a field goal prop.
No, what do you want me to say?
I know you've been killing them. I don't blame you.
It's like I'm like whispering it because I'm.
Well, especially with these primetime unders, they've just been cashing. Ravens definitely, while their offense can be high-powered and then giving up those second-half leads makes that really scary. I'm telling you right now, I could see this being a 21-20 type game. We could see 5 field goals.
Yeah, I agree with you. The other thing, too, is in a shootout, you can, you have, let's say, a 75-yard play, and then the defense is like, all right, let's hold them to a field goal. I'll go get that, too. The other thing, there's this guy, I don't know if anybody heard of him, Justin Tucker playing tonight. The minute they get in range, he could kick it from here to the fucking Bronx. So I'm in on that. Give me that. I like Gus Edwards over rushing yards, and I like Mark
Andrews. My fantasy team needs that.
After a dud, he's a Staten Island boy. After a dud last week, I like Andrews, who I watched that Giant game in person. He loves to target Andrews. I like his over receiving yards.
Do we have a double dip for the night?
Not yet, but I think I could probably lean.
Okay, here's my question: how do you give out a double dip if you like the game going under or you like a lot of field goals? That makes it kind of like you're cheering for a lot of different outcomes. Just out of curiosity.
We're
Like, what's your thought process?
Sure. My thought process is to increase the tickets with people jumping on board at the Barstool Sportsbook of a fun bet of a double dip. So that's my thing. I've committed to the double dip. That's where we're going. We've hit one. We're down a lot.
He's a company man, Megan. He's a company man.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm not.
It was awesome when we hit the double dip. So we'll just keep going. So
yeah, all you need is that one to really push you.
So who is going to be the double dip?
Gus
Edwards?
It would. Yeah.
Because I don't think the Bucs can stop the run. They just can't. They haven't been able to.
It's going to be Gus.
All right. Okay. Double dip.
Because going for a receiver, if they start spreading it out, that's where it gets a problem. But yeah, you're right. Let me get that for you right now. He would be. Oh, it's a good one. It's a juicy one. 11.50, 11.5 to
1. Love that. So double dip. Gus Edwards. That's Rico right now. Best blogger in the company and giving out winners.
Blogger in the company.
Well, make sure, speaking of which, that you're following the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed, liking, all of that's good stuff. And also, while you're doing that, waiting for it to download, whatever you need to do to get the app, read a Rico blog. Go give our guy some clicks. He's working hard over there. Let's get to some college football, or we can mix this in with Die on the Hill. Because I will say, I haven't put it out yet. I like Wazoo plus the 7 tonight. I don't think that, and I hate to say this because I did have the over win total. I don't think Utah is as good as advertised. I just don't, and I think Wazoo has a chance tonight to even maybe start the upset. But I'll take them plus the 7. Love the helmets that they put out. Those old school helmets are beautiful. What do y'all think about this game?
Megan, I took the 7.5 earlier in the week, and that's why I kind of feel like I can't give it out now. Because while in college football, 7.5 and 7 aren't completely different, like the key numbers in the NFL, they still do matter. I do like this Wazoo team. Rico, I know, loves them, but this team is 7-0 in their last 7 home games against the spread, and I just can't overlook that. Now, while I am a Utah fan here, I think that we've seen enough tape on this defense that they are exploitable. And they did have to come back in that second half against USC. That is my one concern. Their defense can step up, and we've seen it from time to time, but then we've seen them drop them against teams like UCLA. The road and home splits are vastly different. I think Wazoo is going to be absolutely bonkers tonight in Pullman. I do like over the touchdown here with the Cats. We'll see, especially as I mentioned, as home dogs, if you will.
Yeah, I would lean on Wazoo as well. I obviously need them for the win total. I know Dave is big on him. He gave him out and pick him. Kelly, you touched on it too. That Utah defense is susceptible, but you know what's really frustrating is that Cam Ward, I thought, was going to come in and be a superstar and ridiculous video game type numbers. Scroll through Wazoo in terms of what they've done in the past couple of weeks. 10 points against Oregon State, 14 against USC. Left some points on the board. Should have covered that game. Was in that game. 28 against Cal. We can look into this. I don't know if there's defensive scores, special team scores, but either way, 28. And the last time we really saw them do really anything was that 41 spot to Oregon, where they did get a defensive score. And then, 38 against Colorado State was their really only out. 17 against Wisconsin, 24 against Idaho. They had to pull that out of their ass. So this offense, it feels like they have this big Ferrari and they just won't let it go at any kind of maximum speed. Or maybe we've overshot Cam Ward a little bit and there's a little growing pains incarnate word. So I'm still on this Wazoo team. I need him to go get the win total. It was a difficult place to play on a Friday night. Utah off the bye, but off an emotional win at USC. We talked about that. Their fucking dead brother on the helmets. Lot to unpack from there. I think Wazoo can win the game, and I would play the 7.5 if I agree with what you guys are saying.
Let's go. I like that. Although I will say the last time we all agreed was with UCLA.
I knew you were going to say that.
And
you know what? I would take that bet again, Megan. Because my God, Chip Kelly, just kick another fucking field goal. Why don't you? You got a solid running game. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12, and you just keep kicking field goals. You can't win. You cannot win games doing that.
What is kicking for, Kelly?
Losers.
All right.
Absolute and utter fucking losers.
Just want to make sure we're all still on the same page. So while we're talking about college football, Let's talk about some of the games that we all like this week. I gave out obviously tonight with Wazoo. Next on my list, I like Wake Forest minus the 3.5 at Louisville. I can see where you want to look towards Louisville here, catching points at home. Don't know if Cunningham's going to play. Also, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with this fast-paced Wake offense. I don't think you're asking Wake to do a whole lot here, minus the 3.5. Plus, again, there's not been a consistency to me with this Louisville team. I just can't back them because I never know when I'm going to get the Malik Cunningham Louisville special. But I know I can trust in Wake Forest. I like the Deacon Demons. I liked them a lot last year too. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Wake minus the 3.5.
Anybody else? I had it at 4. I'm a little worried about it. They're 9-1 in their last 10 as a favorite,
and spread their last 4.
What'd you say?
4-0 against the spread their last 4 too.
Yeah, 9-1 in the last 10 against the spread as a favorite as well. So what I wrote down was, I think they can outscore Louisville. Like, truthfully, I know that's the most generic thing, but if this gets into it, I'll back Sam Hartman against. We don't even know if Cunningham's playing.
In a shootout. I'm going to tell you how I know, because this line went from 5 to 3.5. That's all. Yeah, if you just follow the line move, you're going to get the best of the information there.
But even with Cunningham playing, I still like Wake Forest. I don't think he's a dependable quarterback. Like, I think he has those flashes of absolute insane brilliance, but I just don't trust him on a weekly basis.
Clausen is still there too, right? I'm not going crazy. Clausen's still at Wake Forest, right?
I believe so.
The head coach?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I like Clausen as well. Clausen seems like he's does a lot with little on these teams as well. Like last year, they were a great team. This year, they're a good team. Like quietly top 10. You know. So yeah, I think I think Wake more than likely wins by 2 scores, but I'll take my chances in a shootout with the better quarterback.
I'm with
you. That's fair. I don't hate that. I don't hate the pick. I'm not going to be getting involved, but I did want to just add that I do think Cunningham's going to be playing, or at least somebody knows something I don't know.
Makes sense.
I understand. All right, Kelly, give us one of your picks this week. I know you have a parlay that you're putting together. You just found that.
I do. I was looking for that third dog, but I just said stop overthinking it, and I just submitted it to Jack for the sportsbook side of things. So that will be out tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll give you guys one of the legs. It's going to be West Virginia over the touchdown in Morgantown.
Oh, fuck. Are we all agreeing on this one? Do you have West Virginia too, Rico?
I'm not going to play it, but it makes sense. Right, cool. Like, you have to.
I'm also on West Virginia. We can't all play it.
You have to see that. You have to see that letdown.
Guys, it's like on Sunday Night Football when all the talking heads have the same thing. I don't know if it's good for the money shots crew.
Yeah, no. It happened one good time, one
Kelly,
bad time.
You got to expect.
It's better when we disagree. Don't you think it's better for me when we disagree?
Definitely. But, Kelly, you got to expect that the general public has watched TCU catch a lot of breaks. They were 2 scores worse than Kansas. I bet TCU that day. I was lucky to get a push. They were 2 scores worse than Kansas. Kansas's backup quarterback made him look like shit. I mean, they went up and down the field on him. Kansas State should have won that game if they stay healthy. They're up 28-10. Like, what? And I'll say this.
They're just a very fraudulent 7-0. That's what it is.
It's also very hard to go undefeated. TCU can be an excellent team, have a great season, and go 11-1. Somewhere along the way, they're going to get a loss. It's more likely they're going 10-2 because I think the Big 12 is obviously evening itself out. But yeah, I think West Virginia at home, they could play the spoiler, and I think everybody looking at that game will go, "Give me West Virginia." Like, I think it's West Virginia.
I think everybody looking at that game is going to go, "Give me TCU."
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
listen, this is a Mountaineers team that just got smacked in the mouth in Lubbock.
I mean, I get it, but I just I always find a reason and rhyme to back this West Virginia team at home, and it's been so
profitable. At home, yes. Their home road splits, Megan, you're right, are vastly different.
I
don't know.
Them last week. They suck.
Do you guys think Neil Brown's in any danger of getting fired?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
it's always an interesting. You can't handicap it, but it's always an interesting situational play as well. Maybe this is the game that saves his job, but maybe. I do think.
Who would you go after? Who would you go after? That's the question I have. Like, if I was a college basketball program, even though I don't follow that anymore, or a college football
Heaven
program,
forbid. You don't follow college basketball anymore.
You gotta know who the next guy is. You know, like, well, you gotta be pretty sure that he's gonna be a success. So, like, are you looking at the JMU guy? Maybe. Have we seen enough out of him? I don't even know anything about him. I'm just saying, general area of that state, neighboring states, like, go figure out who you want to go get. So
yeah, this is just a play against TCU for me. Listen, they played Oklahoma, who was ranked, KU, who was ranked, Oklahoma State. They got taken to overtime, had to win there. Nice comeback win. And as Rico mentioned, it was 28-10. was 28-10.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened.
7.5 in Morgantown. I'm taking it all day, and I'm going to continue. Yeah. If you keep giving me over a touchdown with this West Virginia team at home, you can I'll die on a hill. I will bet that every single time.
I made this game, Megan. I made this game 5.5. So at 7.5, it's a no-brainer for me.
You have to. All right, Rico, give us one of your best bets.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baylor. You talked about that Texas Tech team. They burned me last week, but I think that's a great offense. Baylor, Texas Tech over 60. I believe it's up to now 64.5.
I love how you throw a total in there. Kelly and I don't nearly do enough totals on this show.
I hate when people ask me about totals.
I think it's up to I'll pull it up now. I had it at 62.5 when it was originally written down. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the one that jumped. Yeah. All right. Baylor, 60. Let's take a look real quick. Sorry. Give you the accurate number. 63. So it only jumped a half a point. 63. I think this Texas Tech team can move the ball. I've watched Baylor put up some points here. They combine for 64 points. And this is the thing I love. They combine for 922 yards a game on offense. They allow 56.3 on defense and 729 yards a game. Just keep getting me in the red zone. Hopefully they go for it and don't kick those field goals like losers. But I think the Big 12 overs, we watched this Big 12 defenses get way better in the past couple of years. I think overs are slowly creeping back up. Like 5-6 years ago, you never would have saw this over at 62. Now, again, that's a crazy thing to say. I'm betting it based off a number 5 years ago. But I do think people are like, ooh, the Big 12 defenses are really, really good. I think the offenses are getting just a little bit better and the defenses are getting a little bit worse. And I'll take those numbers when I can.
Okay. We have about 5 minutes left before we need to go ahead and wrap. So I want to make sure to get in any of the other best bets that we have. Kelly, you want to give us the other 2 legs of your parlay, or you want to keep us hanging?
I'm going to keep you hanging on one of them because I got to do a little bit more research on if I actually think this team can win outright. I'm getting a little nervous about a couple of things. This has been a tough week. I like a lot of little dogs, a lot of them, Megan. I like Notre Dame. I like Texas A&M. I like
because obviously Ole Miss sucks.
Plus, well, I think it's a buy low spot. No, I really do. I think it's a buy low spot on Jimbo Fisher. But my next leg of my parlay is going to be Kentucky, and it is completely. This is basically like what I'm doing this week with the parlay is we're not playing on said teams, we're playing against who they're playing, and I'm playing against the Vols here.
All right.
Listen, they came off a beatdown of Tennessee Martin.
Those uniforms are pretty sick, though.
Yeah, those are great uniforms. Look good, play good, right?
You know better than that. You know better than that.
It's really easy to play good when you don't care about Kentucky because you have the Georgia Bulldogs on deck because you think that you're a team that got bailed out by the refs against Alabama. I mean, if you finally run into a team that plays defense, what's going to happen to this high-powered offense? That's a serious question here. Wildcats are going to control the time of possession. They have one of the best defenses in the SEC. They have a top 15 defense in college football. I need a little luck to go my way one time. Rico and I talked about this on Monday. I have not been lucky at all. But Wildcats, 11-2 against the spread as touchdown dogs or more. I've been on this team 4 times in the past 2 seasons, Megan. It was 3. This will be my 4th. And guess what? We're 3-0 against the spread. 2 of those times they won outright for us. And both of those happened to be against Florida. Unfortunately, they didn't get the win in Oxford because we weren't that lucky. The refs maybe had a little Ole Miss in their pocket, if you will. And a couple turnovers will do that too. But I like Will Levis. I think that he has the ability here to catch Tennessee in a look-ahead spot, if you will.
It's ballsy as fuck, but I like it. I've been a big fan of Kentucky all year. Obviously everyone's so hype and so into the Volunteers. And look, I will say from my perspective, as an LSU fan, that game was over in the first 30 seconds for us. So I think we should just erase that game out of everyone's memory. It doesn't count. Don't worry about it. Okay. Before we get out of here, I also want to give out, I like UNC at home, minus the 3, I believe it is. Rico, do you like UNC this week?
Yeah, they're written down. I just give you a little U while you were looking down. Yeah, I like Drake May. Pitt on back-to-back road games. The only thing is Mac has been awful off of a bye, weirdly. Yeah. But I like Carolina.
Are you guys concerned that team doesn't play defense whatsoever?
Yeah.
I would love to take the +3 with Pitt. Would love to, but I don't trust Pat Narduzzi. I just don't.
That's the thing. Pitt has great defense, but I just feel like UNC is just such a more proven team. They're a team that I can put my money behind. Besides for whenever Rico and I took them together with their brand new shiny helmets and you ended up getting the win. But we won't talk about that. But yeah, so I like UNC minus the 3. There's a couple more games I like. I'm going back to Illinois plus the 7.5. I like Okie State. Kelly, what do you think? Is Martinez going to play? Because right now, I'm as I said, Okie State plus the 2 is looking pretty solid.
I'm going to say Martinez is not going to play. I'd rather say Martinez is not going to play because I think the line move was really interesting. Somebody came in early. I was pissed. I saw the line on Sunday. I do a lot of handicapping on Sunday when I'm sitting on the couch watching the NFL games. Saw plus 2. I said, okay, let's see if we can't get a 2.5 or 3. I bat my eyes, and it's K-State minus 1.5. Now it's K-State minus 2. I thought the line move was going to indicate that he was going to play. I sent out some text messages, got responses from everybody, and it was all pretty much the same across the board. 50-50 shot with Martinez. Do they rest him? Do they make sure he's healthy for the Texas game? Will Howard did not look bad until he went out versus TCU. He hurt his left shoulder. Luckily, he's a righty. So it sounds like they're going to try to lean on Will Howard here. And I don't want anybody to take that for the gospel. I'll be honest with you. I get some really good K-State intel, but everybody's being tight-lipped here. And, you know, I don't want to ruin any relationships that I have, so I try not to press too hard. But the last I heard is that Adrian's knee was pretty swollen and he had some mobility issues. Maybe they drain it. Maybe they stick a needle in it and say, trot your ass out there. But if it's worth losing the Texas, West Virginia, Baylor, KU game because he gets hurt in the Oklahoma State game, I don't know if it is.
All right, Rico, give us the rest of your best picks. That was a hard thing to say.
Yeah, we touched on Wake. I'd go Baylor, Texas Tech over, Stanford, UCLA over. McKee can throw the ball. You have a doubt on that one?
No, I liked Stanford plus the points, but I was kind of concerned whether they could stay in there with UCLA offensively. But if you like the over, that kind of tells me they may be able to.
I think
defensively, I like the Cardinal, but I can't trust David Shaw. He's too freaking conservative.
Yeah, Stanford hasn't been great necessarily on offense in the past couple of weeks. I want to pull up their schedule as I say that. You know, they won that game gross against Notre Dame. They won 15-14 against Arizona State, but 27 against Oregon State, like 27 against Oregon. The Washington game, they put up points. I remember the USC game. Like, I think they're on a little bit of a tight run here. I also think UCLA's defense will give up a lot of points, and UCLA might score 50. And if I'm holding a 66.5 ticket, like, I just need 17. I really do. I think UCLA is pissed off. Chip's going to get back to it. He's not going to kick field goals. He's going to go get touchdowns.
Here, I know we need to wrap soon, but have you given this the thought to maybe this was like a bubble burst game? Now UCLA can't have a perfect season. Now they aren't going to. Now that they're not going to get to go to Natty. No one lost team from the Pac-12 is going to get in, right? We know that it just never happens. You don't think that's just like such a quintessential like fuck we care about nothing now spot?
Possibly. That might be that I get 35 38, 35. And they just let a bad offense like Stanford hang in this game. I do still think UCLA is going to score. They have the offense to make dynamic plays. I really do. I would go with that. I go with UNC minus the 3. Tonight, I would lean on NC State, Virginia Tech under 39. It's gross. And I like the Tennessee, Kentucky under 63.5, Kelly. I get what you're saying about that.
I like the double digits.
And you touched on it quickly, die on a hill. I think the playoff committee has already made up their mind as far as who's going to make the playoff. I'm very tired of hearing.
You're not getting 3 SEC teams in there, Rico. Who's going to be? Who's it going to be?
I'm not an SEC guy, but
I didn't say you are. But who's it going to be? How could they make up their mind yet? There's a lot of football left.
I think they like to play out the scenarios and rule off. Now, don't get me wrong. Is Carolina a playoff team? Absolutely not. Most likely not. But what I will say is they keep saying Clemson is guaranteed to get in at 12-0. Guess who would line up in the ACC championship? UNC, Clemson. So if you say Clemson's ticket is already punched and Carolina goes and beats them, now what the fuck are you supposed to do? They're 11-1. Like, that's the scenarios that, again, does Carolina have the resume? Probably not. But if you're telling me Clemson's in and they go beat you, like, fuck you. Also, the Pac-12, they're not paying enough attention to that conference. I think it's deeper than the Big Ten. So, yeah, a one-loss team, if they navigate their way through with one loss, should be on that precipice. Obviously, if 4 teams go undefeated, they're probably looking at. But, like, I don't know. I think this committee, and you saw the committee set up. They sit in a fucking ballroom with 3 TVs rolled out like somebody's
I mean, Rico, we all know they're a bunch of dorks.
Party. It's pathetic.
It's no different than the AP voters. It's all bullshit. You know this.
That's enough. This conversation is about to get way too heated. It could run for the next 2 hours. We can't do that. Kelly has to go and get herself to the game. It really could. It could go on for 2 hours. We can't.
Oh, I've got a great die in the hill, but I'll save it for tomorrow with Che. It'll be great.
It'll be great. I won't be here tomorrow, unfortunately. Make sure y'all are liking and subscribing to the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube page. Make sure you follow Rico if you can. Me, Kelly, all the producers. Make sure you're going and reading those Rico Bosco blogs because they are churning out like butter, baby. So come back and see us tomorrow with Stephen Che and our beautiful Kelly in Vegas, and we'll be talking the NFL weekend. Nice to see you guys.
I'm holding an Astros ticket, and she just keeps firing.